Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Ski Mask Collective, episode 236, the year of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Howard Christ, 2024. The date is February 11th. Some would call it Super Bowl Sunday. I have better things to do than call it that, frankly. Where's the goddamn ticker? Where's the fucking ticker? The host of this show, the face of this network, has been drunk since Wednesday, from all I gather. I barely know more than you about what's happening. He called me an hour ago. There it is. I told him 2 o'clock. I haven't heard back. I sent a link to about 1,000 people with no context, so we'll see what happens. We have a guest in the waiting room. High alert. He'll be in just a minute. Yes, Ski Mask did go live the other day, absolutely hammered, and put out better content than I've seen on many of these networks in weeks. He was playing guitar. He was calling people. That's what it's always been here at Ski Mask Media. We have never wavered, unlike many others. We have never wavered. Agents of chaos, constant content, constantly being released, and we're men of our words. This is the second back-to-back show. We just finished an Ask Me Anything with Kelly P. The Sports Mask Super Bowl Spectacular will be immediately following this program. I have a real job, so it's my fault for not doing more this week, but frankly, I don't give a fuck. I was on In Hot Water. I will be at Legion of Skanks tomorrow as a guest of the legendary Laughing Habibi. Who knows if I'm invited on the show? There are things in the works deep under the covers of people talking to Luis J. Gomez for me, letting him know I'll be on hand. I've been on with Opie. I've been on with Anthony. I've been on with Gino. I've been on with Kevin. I mean, I can keep going. Check the fucking resume, you fucking hacks, and put some respect on the fucking name. Now, it's ACMLC weekend from everything. And again, I know our guest is in the waiting room. I didn't want to bring him in and just talk over him. So I'm bringing him on in a second here. Maybe I'll even bring him on while I'm talking about this, because I'm sure he has some things to say. Luckily, he's here. Actually, just bring him in real quick, and then I'll ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Chow. I did not get any permission from Ski Mask to bring him on. I sent the link to many people. Ski Mask didn't want me to send the link to, so we'll see what happens over the next half hour, 40 minutes or so. What's up, Dr. Chow?
What's up, dude? We had Ski Mask on last night, so I can give you a little bit of insight on.
Yeah, please. I know nothing. I didn't even know that, honestly. I didn't know. I didn't check Twitter for over 24 hours till about an hour and a half ago. I barely know what's going on there, so I'm glad you're here. But go ahead. What is the state? And by the way, I just found out on Ask Me Anything with Kelly. Today is Ski Mask's birthday. On top of it all.
Yep.
So what is the state of the union of my apparent co-host who's totally MIA and AWOL?
So he came on last night. We did a freak party stream. We had Ski Mask on, and then Billy John came on with him, and then we had Joey C on and Mersh. And Ski came out right off the bat. He was very inebriated with this death wish of, he told us about his birthday today, so we sang him happy birthday. And he thinks he's only got 366 days to live. But his main contention last night was the Stevie Lou beef, where he went completely nuts, calling there he is. Hey, the king is back. Happy birthday.
What's going on, boys?
He's back.
Thank you. Yes, I made an ass out of myself last night. It's fine. I don't know what to say.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, Bubba.
I really mean that. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was your. I wasn't aware.
I've been talking about it for a long time. It's like, lady left me 2 nights ago. Yes, that's right, boys. I'm on a bender.
Wait, what?
Yes, Stancil. I'm on a bender.
Your lady left you 2 nights ago?
Yeah, the whole house is exactly destroyed, just like the way you picture it.
Well, I mean, all the other houses, to be fair, in your complex are probably destroyed with the people living in it. So.
Stats, are you mad at me? Because I haven't heard from you.
No, I was just covering at the top of the show. I haven't. It's been a crazy fucking week. Hashtag real job. Like I said, I barely checked Twitter in the last 48 hours. I haven't been able to do any shows all week. That's why I'm going. I'm doing a 3-peat today. No, not at all. Not at all. No, I'm just. I'm still. I was going to go over AC. I don't even barely. That's why I sent the link to a bunch of people. We'll see who jumps
I
on.
saw that you had sent the link to me, and then it made me laugh because it goes, he doesn't only run the show, he also needs a link. So you already knew I was fucked up.
Well, yeah, obviously I knew that.
Yeah.
I sent the link to Kevin. I don't give a fuck. I sent it to everybody. I sent it to Gino. I sent it to Chad. I sent it to
here's all the boys. And guess what? I sent the fucking super chat to Chad this morning saying, hey, you've been funny lately. That's it. That's it.
So I mean, we'll get to. I mean, well, let's start.
We can talk all that shit later. We could do this show today. That's it. You know,
get closer to your mic. People are gonna write.
I don't have a mic. It's been
get closer to your fucking computer. People are gonna write letters. They're gonna write letters. They're gonna write. By the way, it's Ski Mask's birthday. Send some fucking super chats, you cheap pieces of fucking shit.
All right, I don't fucking have a goddamn microphone. I don't have
that
one,
microphone
and
works.
I don't have headphones, and I don't have cars to my. I don't have keys to my truck.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds better. Keep the mic over there. The mic works.
Does it work?
It does work.
No,
I'm telling you, it works.
Not. Does this work?
Yes,
it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. It's working. So yes, it does.
But yeah,
it's working.
You were saying
hold the mic,
night,
damn it.
His lady stole his headphones.
I promise you, it's working.
I know it's not. It's not plugged in.
That mic. Dr. Chow, can you back me up that his mic is working? This is how you do a show, by the way.
This works.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Tap it. Tap the top of it. Yes, it works. It's coming.
Oh, you know what?
It
well,
works, bro.
This is what you want. This is content. Who cares about AC? This is who gives a shit.
Ruined. I just got ruined by Jim Stansel because he's 100% goddamn right.
Yeah, no shit.
It is plugged in. What's not plugged in is the headphones. I can hear you guys. That's the problem.
You can still hear us though, right? Obviously, you're answering.
Barely. Yes, I'm on a bender. Been on a bender for days. Oh no.
Did he pick up a 30 this morning?
Now I barely care about AC. I'll be honest. This is actually might be more interesting content than Atlantic City. Here we go. Okay, here we go. It is Super Bowl Sunday after all. Stupid Fast 31. The mic is working, Ski. Get sober again. Happy birthday. Do you think you'll ever get sober again?
Whoever Stupid Fat, I know who that is. He lives in Illinois. Good egg.
You should go fuck Kelly.
Dude, I mean, my lady left me 2 nights ago. I don't know what to do, Stancil.
I mean, where do we even begin? I guess
after the show, I said, let's save for the show.
What happened?
I did something dumb. I did something really dumb.
Really? Was it with was it with another human?
No. What I did that was dumb was I put a gun in her mouth, and she started being dumb about it. I said, "Hey, it's the same thing." You're laughing because it's hilarious. It's the same thing as a piece of
laughing
wood.
This is insane.
No shit, but that's what I did. She's gone.
Was it foreplay or were you mad at her?
You've been there before.
Was it foreplay or were you mad at her? Like, were you fucking around with it?
Started as foreplay.
And then you blew her head off.
I gotta go. Please continue to host the show. All right,
come back and jump on if you want. You can jump on. Oh, I thought you were actually going.
No, I'm not happy about what happened.
All right, you can. I'll host and you can be me this week. It's your birthday. You can hang out.
Who's gonna win the bowl?
That's for the next show. I'm not gonna make my pick. That's why we call it a teaser. You're gonna have to with Sports Mass Collective immediately.
You got out here, right?
I'm
Oh, you
here.
can ask Chow. Chow
All
can
right,
weigh in.
I was going to fill you in on what happened last night.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, Chow.
Right, love
Yeah,
you, boys.
so
Floor
we
is yours.
learned Ski Mask his wife or his girlfriend ran off with his headphones. That was the first thing we learned last night.
I got to get out of here. Chow, please fucking talk to my boy Statzel. I got to go.
All right.
All right, come back.
I'm not
in a
okay.
little bit.
I'm not. I got to
You're,
go.
you're welcome back whenever if you want to jump back on.
Statzel, love you. And
I love you. Happy birthday.
Chow, please play the clip that I asked you to clip last night.
Oh God, there were so many.
One where fucking dickhead asked me about Jim Stansel. I said Jim Stansel.
Oh yeah.
On a planet.
He had a lot of good things to say about you. That's for sure.
Goodbye.
Later.
All right.
How do I leave? I don't even know.
I'll take. There you go.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Long
There you
story
go.
short.
There you have it. Happy birthday, Ski Mask. He's got to go. Very ominous thing to say in his state. We hopefully maybe he'll jump back in here at some point. But anyway, sorry, Doc. The floor is yours, Doctor.
No, I mean we just had him on last night, and he was probably in about the same state.
Sorry, Doctor.
Now.
I'm going to cut you off again because I have ADHD. Just to get this out of the way, Noodles Live, $2, and it's a super chat. Somebody with actual money, thank you. Are you really on 35th and 7th? Want to chill? That's where Compound America is. 213 West 35th. Come say hi on Tuesday. All right, now let's try this for the 5th time, Doctor.
I mean, I don't even know where to start. He is right. He did have a long soliloquy about how great you were and how you're the funniest guy of all time. But that was just interspersed in a whole hour and a half of him raging at certain points, talking about his chick leaving him, whipping out his dick. Of course, he did that live on stream. So we got to see that little guy, his piece, as he would say.
How was the piece? How's the piece these days?
It's shrinking a little bit, I think, but you know, could have been
well. Adderall will make it. I'm sure there's some drugs involved in his bender here, so Adderall is renowned to give you a teeny weeny. So let's cut him a break.
Yeah, and then he had he was really, really jazzed up about the Stevie Lou thing too.
What now? Again, I've had a hellish week of real world stuff. What even is the Stevie Lou thing these days? I can't.
So I guess Stevie Lou.
He docks where he worked.
Yeah. That's what really pissed him off. And then he was going after Lou and Lou's wife, and then he was saying Lou should come over to his place, and he was giving out his address and all this different type of stuff. And he was.
I sent Stevie Lou the link for this very show. If Stevie is out there, or somebody wants to hit him up, I'll welcome on the channel to say his piece. Yes, I did see that. So he put a gun in his girlfriend's mouth, and she left him and took his headphones. Is that correct?
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I didn't know about the gun in the mouth. That's a new revelation from this morning. Last night he just was telling us that she had left him and he took his headphones. So,
and this is a guy, Brennan still doesn't want to send the link. More interesting than 90% of the people he keeps having on, but that's for another day. Even the phone. Yeah,
we were calling a lot of the people in AC. So we called Kevin a bunch of times. We called Ray DeVito. We were trying. He was on his phone calling a lot of people, trying to get people in AC on the horn, but to no avail, really.
Well, maybe we'll check back in on Ski Mask in a bit, or maybe he'll check in himself, or maybe he'll check into a hospital. Who's to say? And he destroyed. Now, did he just tell you about what he told us, that he destroyed his apartment?
A little bit. I think he was in the midst of destroying it, looking for his headphones. Actually, right as we went live, he was shuffling around, throwing things, trying to find his headphones. And then he came to the conclusion that his chicks stole them. But, you know, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about alcoholism. He thinks he's not going to live to 30, which is going to be 366 days. So he kept reinforcing that, and he was asking people to come kill him, basically. So he kept talking about that and just begging people, giving out his address. So yeah, it was a wild time, and I think we'll probably put some of it back up. I just wanted to take some of the stuff out of it where
the penis.
Yeah, exactly. So
sure.
But yeah, it was a wild time, man.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Ski Mask's birthday. He is on a bender. His lady has left him for putting a gun in her mouth. She stole his headphones. He's destroyed his apartments, and he won't live till 30. No offense, Chow, but you're not getting this kind of stuff on any other show. Now let's see. And I'm glad you're here because I feel like you have more of a pulse on the happenings as you're a doctor after all of the happenings at an AC. I was just put into my purview the Levy-Brennan confrontation. Let me just say this as a blanket statement of Atlantic City. And yes, you can say it's sour grapes. I'm not there. As I've said a billion times the last month, it's a nearly 4-hour drive from where I am. And not only is it a 4-hour drive, it's one of the shittiest 4-hour drives in the world. This last stretch to AC from here in Connecticut. So it's a 4-hour drive to a shithole to hang out with shitheads. So for 1 or 2 nights, it's just not worth it. No offense. And yeah, from what I've seen, which isn't a ton, I tried to quickly catch up. I may try to do that live on the air. Sorry, to go back because we read super chats when we want to, not our whole show based around it, like some other shows. Addicted to Profits, $2. I talked to Ski last night. He was wasted. Well, I talked to him 10 minutes ago, and he was also wasted, so that checks out. John Russ. Wow, the great John Russ. Haven't seen him in a while. $4.99. Great show, boys. Interesting. I get more super chats when Ski Mask isn't here. Yeah, keep super chatting. It's Ski Mask's birthday, but send the money to me. We could really stick it. If you don't like Ski Mask, this is a good show to send the super chats. So AC, it looks like to me like somebody threw MDMA into an old folks' home. It's just a bunch of old men yelling at each other and bouncing off the walls, and people with hunchbacks. And I've heard reports that Onions hasn't left his room the whole time. Are you able to verify these reports, Doctor?
A little bit. So initially we were going to have
tell me what you have. Tell me what you have on fill me in on AC. I've heard the big stories. I've heard Gino and Chad have broken bread and are all good now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the two main things I got out of it, I was kind of busy just listening to Kanye's new album all day yesterday. But the two big things that came out were the Melton and Stuttering John little mini confrontation thing. And then the Kevin Brennan and Bob Levy. There's videos of these two things.
I saw the Levy. What was the first one? I'm sorry. No, the Stuttering John. So I saw both of those. I did see both of those.
Yeah, and we actually had Mersh on last night, and he really opened my eyes. We broke it down, both videos down like the Zapruder film. We were doing it slow motion, looking at all the players in the theatrics of it. And he really convinced me that at least the Levy and Brennan one might be a work. As in work, he had all these wrestling terms that he was talking about when he was describing it. So I'm almost thinking like it was kind of like faked to generate something to talk about for these shows for the next 3 to 4 weeks, which it was
3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks. This is going to go on years. Kevin talks about these things, but forget about these other shows. And to your point, I wanted to bring this up anyway, and you just hit the nail on the head. David GX5, even though it's not a super chat, David, get the wallet out. It's Ski Mask's birthday after all. And I'm doing 3 shows today, so get the fucking wallet out. And I'm missing the Super Bowl because #RealJob. I won't watch a single snap of the Super Bowl. I'll rant about that on the next show. Immediately following this show, by the way, the Sports Mass Stancil Super Bowl Spectacular, where we'll have even more guests or not. It's David GX5. It's all a work except Ski brutally killing his girlfriend. I agree with that. Ski Mask's actions of all the bullshit going on in AC, Ski Mask is doing the realest shit of the weekend. He's on a bender, literally killing himself. He says he just put a gun in his girlfriend's mouth. I think he blew her head off and doesn't even know it yet. Perhaps he put his headphones on her head and blew her head off and broke the headphones. Perhaps that's just a theory we have at the American Nightmare 2 ski mask host, because basically what's going on here in Connecticut. Meanwhile, these old and or losers in AC are just doing work after work after work. I mean, as I've said forever, and no offense, Dr. Chow, I'm not saying you love him, but I've always said I could give a fuck about Stuttering John. I don't understand why anybody gives a fuck about him. And he still can't find a pair of jeans that fits, apparently, from everything I've seen. Yeah, so listen, I'm sure people there are having a good time. Shout out to Flimsy Greenberg, who watches our network. He's like the TMZ of Atlantic City, getting all the hot videos out of there, and we appreciate him for that. Have you heard anything about any feedback on the actual comedy show that went down with Gino and Chad and Keanu?
Yeah, so I heard Chad did pretty well, and I heard Gino was really drunk, and I heard Mazer was kind of mid, not that good. And I heard Keanu, I don't know, she hosted and didn't really do that many jokes. But yeah, supposedly it was like at a bar, and they didn't even really have tickets or security or anything. It was just kind of like a hangout thing. And Stuttering John was there and like tried to interject himself into the show by like yelling out "Skull" and like saying, "Hey, you guys respect these guys. They're real performers," and, you know, doing all this different type of shit from the crowd.
Yeah,
so
he's a loser.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know stand-up comedy like that, if it was a good show or what to base it off of, but it seemed like people had a good time. And I saw Zumak was streaming, talking about how he had a great time and it was fun this morning, but I don't know. Have you heard anything from Gino?
Let's see. Not directly as of yet. Let's see if anything's come across my detective table here. I do have a lot of little birdies floating around, sending me information at the moment. Let's see. What's this? No, I have not heard directly from Gino. I did see. I saw a picture that may live in infamy of a dinner, and at the table was Chad Zumock, Gino Bisconti, Keanu Thompson, Ken Mosca, Tony Mazer, Mazer's wife, and another gentleman I did not know.
It was probably Bill from Jersey.
Okay, shout out Bill from Jersey.
Yeah. He was supposed to be on our show last night, and then he went to the dinner or something instead.
Well, today is supposed to be the big day when people go hang out with Kevin and watch the Super Bowl. So, now I've heard said that Kevin is avoiding onions, or they're avoiding each other, or they actually hate each other. Whereas although I was told Levy has been banned for life from the Borgata.
Yeah, that was the rumor going on around last night, that because he threw the drink and tried to fight Brennan, they banned him from the casino. But I really haven't talked to anyone at the place. We were just breaking down whatever came across on Twitter. So it was kind of like, and it was like in the middle of the night when we were doing it. So I have you probably know more than me about this.
What are people talking? I'm just reading the chat here. I'm not putting it on the screen because they're not super chats. Come on, folks. What's going on with Mersh? Is there something going on with Mersh down there? Or is that
no? Mersh jumped on our stream after Ski Mask left last night, and we were kind of breaking down all this stuff. So that's probably what it was.
That's the fish lunch guy, right?
Yeah. He's a popular YouTuber.
He likes a fish lunch.
No, so that story was basically he has an exclusive with Rumble, and he was making a joke about like basically all the high-end streamers that Rumble signed exclusives to, they'd like give him all this money and shit, and all he got out of it was a fish lunch one day. So
I see.
It's like a self-deprecating joke.
I've heard the clip, but I just didn't know. Decline host, he's a reliable man in the MLC universe, of course. Yep, Levy is banned, and I'm reading this because he's a member, even though he didn't super chat it, cheap fuck. Yep, Levy is banned, will be trespassed if he ever comes back. There you have it. Chad's got things to do. You do it. Do what you got to do. If you got to do stuff.
No, I just got some kids yelling about something. So
kids. Now we're talking.
yeah.
Interesting. What else do I have? What else do I have here? It's funny. I sent a link to Chad, and the last message I have here was from him, October 22nd, 2022. I really hope you die. You're a follower, and that's gross. Classic Chad.
Well, Zumach. So here's a diversion based on what I know is some people are going to AC today, and then Zumach is going to Florentine's, and he said he might stream from there. So maybe we could get something. I guess like Florentine's having a party, and like Joey Coco Diaz is going to be there, and a bunch of
Joey
other...
Coco Diaz, piece of shit, still owes Teamster Tim money. Still owes Teamster money. Ex-heroin addict, tries to act like he's all high and mighty. Joey Diaz is a piece of shit. No one else wants to say it. Joe Rogan's not going to say it. I'll say it because I'm a man of the people. Teamster Tim is my boy. He knows Joey Coco Diaz. He used to hang out with him all the time. Joey Coco Diaz, confirmed piece of shit. Rack me. Clip it.
Yeah. And then the new entrants from the DAB that are going to AC are Stevie Lou and DeVito are both showing up in AC today. So maybe they can somehow scuffle and create more drama. But otherwise, it seems like all this nerd drama stuff is basically over, or a work or whatever.
Nerd drama. I like that. Call it, yeah. Adam, call this episode Nerd Drama. Well, I'm sure Stevie Lou will make up some bullshit, and I emphasis on makeup. Anywho, I sent Stevie the link. Feel free to come on. Delbert, I stand with Teamster Tim. Chris Mack, he owes Teamster money for heroin. Damn, I thought Joey Diaz claimed to be exclusively a coke guy. It was something like that. Or Joey owes somebody a good amount of money, and that was before he got big, and he's never paid it and has been asked for it. It was over $1,000 and still is. Joey Diaz is just, I'm just reading the chat. Sorry, this isn't my brain. Joey Diaz is just annoying. Hearing this is just icing on the cake. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Don't believe the hype. Dave Tremaine, Stevie Lou will make it up like his wife made up not having a dick and balls. Oh, jeez.
Hey, man, that's very tame compared to what Ski Mask went off on about her last night. So I'll probably put some of that back up. And I'm sorry, man, I was up so late, and I don't really have much energy or anything to offer your show.
Oh, you can jump off whenever you like. You've already helped out enough.
I wish Ski Mask would come back, because even the 2 minutes he was on earlier was great. And that's what he was like for an hour and a half last night, just going. Him and Mir together was insane, because Mir, likes to hit the bottle too and talk shit. So they were going back and forth about nonsense.
People can say whatever they want about Ski Mask. Kevin can say whatever they want about Ski Mask. Again, we lose sight of things with all the nonsense. All we're doing is entertainment. Who gives a shit about what people's lives are like? Is it entertaining or not? And Ski Mask, for whatever reason, intentionally or unintentionally, is consistently entertaining. He's either hammered, or he has an idiotic point, or something in between, or he's sticking a gun in. I mean, what other of these hosts are sticking guns in women's mouths? Show me. Somebody show me another podcast host in this comedy corner of the internet where a host is sticking a gun in a woman's mouth and going on a bender when he was told if he keep drinking, he'll die. Show me. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. Joey C has been in podcasting for 6 months and almost died. I mean, we've been doing this 4 years now.
Well, we had Joey on last night too, and he was great. After Ski left. Nah, he's good. He's funny. But no, I want to ask you a question.
Is he out of the hospital? Was he even in the hospital? Is he still drinking Diet Cokes? Does he have feet?
No,
Why does he think anybody is scared of him? Why does he act like he's a mobster? He's a fucking fat dude with diabetes who lives in a shithole with a meth addict. Who gives a fuck? And what is he, 70? Who cares? Funny.
Yeah, he's dope.
He's funny because he's an idiot. He's not actually anything. He's an idiot. He's funny like fucking Stuttering John is funny. He's just an idiot.
Yeah. But no, I wanted to ask you pertaining to Ski and Lou. Ski was saying that part of the reason Lou keeps getting on MLC is because Brennan is only inviting him on to piss off Ski Mask. Do you think there's any truth to that?
I don't know about. I think Seamas may be a little bit narcissistic there, thinking about it's about him. But it's funny you say that because I did. And again, this is just the truth. I think Kevin brings him on because Kevin knows what he's doing, and he always has. Which I've said for a long time, especially since the super chat era started. When you get we've got a lot of new MLC fans, which is great. But I still to this day, and I mean this, still don't think a lot of them truly understand what Kevin is doing on that show. And I'm not saying it's not some M. Night Shyamalan or NASA level of storytelling, but he knows what he's doing. So to get to my point, yes, I think he has Stevie on because he knows how mad it makes most of the viewers, which generates conflict, which generates super chats. And that's not a crazy theory. I believe that 100% is what Kevin's doing. That's why he also has Ray on.
Ray, I was going to say,
on the show.
Prime example.
Stevie, and I'm not saying Stevie stinks on the show, but everybody hates him on the show. So that's why he keeps having him on. He's not having him on because Kevin thinks he's good. No offense, Stevie. I'm just telling the truth. And I'm not saying he's not good. He's not my favorite on the show. But again, there's a lot of people who I like who aren't my favorite on MLC. I've said this forever. I'm talking about MLC in a vacuum. I don't want to see Pat Dixon on MLC. I find him boring on MLC. I find Pat Dixon
Nap Dixon.
Yes. I think Pat Dixon's stand-up is hilarious. I think he's a legendary stand-up comic. I like Pat Dixon on other shows. I don't like him on MLC because it's too much agreement there. MLC is the show is called Misery Loves Company. The show is conflict constantly. That's why I've been happy to see Kevin doing more solo shows. Obviously, we're going to have a week to 5 years of shows about AC now, just from last night, because we have to bash everything into the fucking ground these days, which is a whole other topic. But the solo MLCs are the best MLCs.
Zumok's always good on there.
Zumok has been much better lately, but again, that's why Zumok is good on it. And at this point, it's self-aware, is because he pisses people off. He knows how to piss Kevin off, and not directly either. It's not like saying things to Kevin directly. It has to be nuanced. But the best guests, and I've said this forever, the best guests on Kevin's shows are the ones that get under his skin for one reason or other. We don't need interesting guests. To Kevin, like Kevin always says, Mark Norman on MLC would stink. And I love Mark Norman. I love Tuesday with Stories. I think his stand-up is good. Sorry, Kevin. But Mark Norman on that show would stink. Most of these big comics on MLC would stink because they wouldn't say anything, or it would be the same vanilla bullshit they say on, Are You Garbage or Real Ass, or any of these fucking shows. Is so funny, good-natured ribbing, as Kevin says. And that's just not, Decline host, thank you. Stu Kamens, perfectly example. All these newbies probably still don't even know who Stu Kamens is. Do you know who Stu Kamens is?
No idea.
Okay, Stu Kamens is a classic MLC guest. He was on twice. He used to be in stand-up years ago. His folks died, and he inherited $2 million. And last time he was on, he was just on his couch smoking a joint. He showed Kevin his bank statement, and Kevin was just furious. He literally showed still the only guest who actually showed his bank account, which showed $1.1 million. And he's just sitting there like a piece of shit, smoking a joint. And Kevin was livid for an hour and a half because he just couldn't believe, he hates weed to begin with. And this guy is a millionaire. He's like, I just don't, I'm tired of comedy. Comedy's kind of, that. And that's what, because that's a real, genuinely getting, that's why you see me and Decline Host and others always putting Stu Kamens in the chat, because those are the guests. Those are the best guests. The people that don't know what the show is and naturally piss Kevin off. That's why the Craig Kilborn absolutely sucked last year, because, again, to my point, then it's just any of these other podcasts who are just interviewing somebody, and who gives a shit. Yeah, I know the deal, Delbert. I've been here from day one on MLC, back to 2015 or 14, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I was at Burning Bridges. Yeah.
No doubt. Hey, can I ask you about my favorite guy to watch and analyze is DeVito. Have you followed any of this most recent drama with him where he's starting to like freak out?
I've known Ray for years now. I talked to Ray on the phone earlier this week because he kept fucking calling me. I mean, he knows I hate phone calls, so I called him back because I'm nice. Oh, no, it was Monday because I was going to go to a show Tuesday when I was in the city, but I had to come back to have sex. So, yes, I talked to Ray off the air just this week. Obviously, history with Ray at this point, the secret show, the now infamous secret show, tennis ball court show, giving Ray rides and all that. Ray is a classic character. Ray's
One of the best.
but Ray's got 100% mental, literal mental issues. And I've always said about Ray, he's a comedy stand-up savant. I'm not saying he's Dave Chappelle or fucking whoever on stage, but he's very good. He is a professional on stage, which, as somebody who's seen him on stage multiple times, is still hard for me to believe the guy on podcasts is the same guy on stage, because he's a professional on stage. He's good. He understands stand-up and he's good at it. But yes, absolutely terrible on podcasts, which is why his shows are entertaining, because they are so ridiculously bad. That's why I don't mind him on MLC for the same reason, because he's so bad he pisses Kevin off. I just don't think Ray has social skills, whereas he'll rip somebody apart. He can't say anything bad about somebody until he does, and then he doesn't mean it 10 hours later.
I've studied some of his old stand-up. He's been doing the same jokes for over 12 years.
That's not uncommon in stand-up, though, to be honest. Okay. Listen, if
it's not my style of comedy, like talking about like being a teenager all the time and like, I don't know, I don't get it, but I know there's different styles of comedy for different people. But one thing I found interesting is, so he freaked out about this Ari Jane thing, but now I think he got some positive reinforcement from it, and now I think he actually freaked out. And then now I think he's doing like a bit. He's trying to be like Kevin and like freak out on streams. If you've noticed, like he's changed a little bit. So now he's like, because people were like, "Whoa, that was awesome!" Like you're standing up to whoever. And I don't know, it comes off as fake. But one question I had about him, and maybe you might have more insight knowing him. I've posited the theory that Ray is in fact a virgin, and do you think there's any credence to that? And is there any possibility that you know of a woman he's ever dated or anything like that in the many years you've known him?
I do not know of any woman he's dated, much less had sex with. I think you're within your. I give Ray the benefit of the doubt that he has had sexual intercourse with a female species Homo sapien. But I think you are well within your rights. Yeah, I think that's a decent theory. I mean, just up there with the laundering money, it's got to be looked into. We still never got to the bottom of that, which still could be very much happening. Listen, I said this before. I think I've said it a while ago. I know we haven't talked about the laundering money, the money laundering scheme that's running rampant through Misery Loves Company that me and Dr. Chow headed up along with our friends at Interpol. But yeah, people make a big deal like, oh, why would you lose money? You're just losing 30%. So you can either just simply donate to your own show and lose 30% and take that L, or you can go through a whole rigmarole of opening up a laundromat or an LLC or finding a guy to do it. You have to deal with all that bullshit. Or you could just take the L of 30% and easily do it through your show. I mean, it's not crazy.
No, for sure. And that's the thing with the international transfers that YouTube provides via super chats, where people can be, sometimes it's really hard to move money from certain countries to other countries. So moving it from one country into an LLC via the YouTube super chatting system is a feasible option. Like that 30% VIG isn't necessarily
it's not
horrible.
crazy.
Yeah.
I
So
just wanted that we don't have to. We obviously this is a lot going on these days. This day, but I just wanted to make it clear the investigation is ongoing. Hashtag never forget, just like 9/11. Actually, I had a bill yesterday at a food place that was 9/11, and I threw them a never forget, and they lost it. I thought it was very funny. I don't know why.
well,
I didn't think it was that funny. It was just a throwaway line, but they
I
said,
got some. Oh, sorry to cut you off, but I
no, it's
got something
okay.
funny to tell you about Ray. So Ray was on Keith and the Girl like 7 or 8 years ago, and he claimed he was in this movie playing a gay taxi driver. It was an Indian Bollywood movie, but he wasn't in it at all. He made it up basically. Complete fabrication, complete lie. So
Yeah, Ray does that. Ray lies a lot
right.
in a weird way.
He-
It's like there's no reason to. He said, "What did he say?" He said something about me recently. I have no recall these days. I forget, but like I don't even know what you're. Oh, it was a tennis ball court show. It was. Yeah, he couldn't even like be honest about basic facts about that show. Like,
Right.
yeah, like he did 40 minutes. He was to do 15. He's like, no, they told me they could do it. Like nobody ever. We would never on those shows. We told you what you were doing. We gave you a shitty light, and that was it. Nobody ever was like, oh yeah, just do more. No, like he's just making. I think he just makes stuff up. I don't even know if he's doing it facetiously. I think he just does it almost naturally, which is scary.
I think it's partly to paint a narrative, but I think it's also like one of those things where you tell yourself a lie so many times, it becomes true to you. So this this movie was
I've been
called
trying to be gay for years, and it's not
Yeah.
taken.
And this movie that he claims he's in, this English Vinglish movie, basically I liken this movie to like Steve Ranazizi making up he was in 9/11. English Vinglish is Ray DeVito's 9/11.
Ooh,
Yeah, so because he goes
why?
around.
Because the Jews made it.
Well, he promotes it on the Stan's website that he starred in this movie.
Uh-oh. Shut that kid up.
Yeah, my kids are. Hey,
That's fine. I
my wife got him. Yeah. So
that's
anyway,
right.
yeah.
Get away from me.
Sorry to divert attention, but
I don't care.
yeah, who cares about Ray, man? But yeah, no, I think this is his like version of 9/11. He tells the story so many times in a public forum that he played a gay taxi driver in this movie that he clearly wasn't in because I watched it. That now like he just believes it, and then I'm like Howard Stern or whatever calling him out on it. So
What's the name of the movie again for our viewers, just so they can look it up
English
on
Vinglish. It's a 2012 Indian movie. It's very popular, actually. He's not anywhere in the credits. There's no role like he says he had in it. He said he had this line like, "Oh, where can I take you?" And he's driving a taxi and wearing a scarf, and he plays a gay guy. There's that scene doesn't. There's nothing even remotely like that in the movie. So it's just a very weird lie. And
Right.
once you start looking into them, there's a lot of these types of lies. So it's pretty funny, interesting to look at his psyche and the character that he's crafted in this so-called dab world or Dabbleverse.
Chris Mack, it's not a super chat, but he is a member, so I'll throw him a bone here, and he made has a decent take. I've read about deeply unwell people whose reality has become fractured, such that they even lie to themselves in an attempt to exercise power over reality. There you go. That sounds about right.
I mean, if he reads, he's a smart man, so I trust him.
A fellow person who reads. Yeah. Well, I don't really give a shit. What else is going on? I got a picture here of Chad shaking Stoning John's hand.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Milton, the confirmed hunchback. We found that out. Absolutely a podcaster body.
Yeah, I think the Melton thing is like, I think it's because you and me are about the same age, and like I don't know, like it just his vibe just doesn't jive with me. But I think like a lot of his fans must be like older or something because
I don't know what's going on. I've said it before. His show is like I I've tried. I never made it more than 30 seconds, but it's like it's almost like some fucking chick or teenage show. There's like fucking shit popping up constantly. It reminds me of like these chicks who like read chats and do like the ooh yum
The
like
NPC, yeah. the
yeah, it's
NPC
like people
streams.
with there's fucking names on the wall. There's fucking little fucking gay icons constantly on the screen and shit popping up and noises popping up. It's like, Jesus, can anybody just do a fucking normal show like this where you just talk to somebody and that's the content? You got to have fucking constant. It reminds me of the old Ren and Stimpy's where Stimpy would be in front of the TV and you just see colors flashing like bing, boing, bing, ding, ding, doing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
fucking nonsense. I don't get it. I said it from day one when he was Mondays with Melton that it was terrible. And again, I'm always right. What a surprise. Stancil Stradamus. Show me where I was ever wrong long term about anything. So yeah, that's where I'm at on Milton. And I've always been correct about that.
No doubt. I mean, it's yeah, he's very polarizing, but I think what he does best of anyone is he uses the royal we, and he convinces these fans that like he's got a community and like we think this, we do this, we so he gets people who are like kind of loners to aggregate around it, and then they have a sense of community that formed through it. So I think he does a really good job of doing that.
Great point. I think that's a great point. And it's funny. Maybe I heard you say it. I heard somebody else say it, make a similar point, but that's a great point. And I was thinking about that. Yeah. It's I'm not even going to name names, but there's other shows in this universe. If you watch the program or follow me on Twitter, you know I hate this fucking well, you can say it now, this faggot ass dabble verse and these fucking names of verse and shit. Just be an adult and call it whatever the fuck it is. But I think that's similar to a lot of these shows where they have a small following that is meant to believe it's like this great thing and there's a community there. I've said, I mean, listen, we hate everybody here. Our motto last year was make everyone hate you 2023. It's carried on. I've never cared how this show does. My rule, as we've said a billion times, when the first time I ever did this show, and from thenceforth, I told Ski, I'm doing this just fucking for fun. If it's ever not fun, I'm not doing it. And there's been many weeks where you'll see I'm not on the show because like I don't feel like doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. I don't fucking know anybody shit. This is for fun. I enjoy being having my foot in this corner of comedy, I guess, and it's opened some doors, but I'm not out here. I tell the truth. I don't know how these guys go on and just make shit up all day. I don't know. What do I know?
Well, I agree, and that's part of it with the people who are really, this is their main thing, then they get, and especially in this dab, it's all like us versus them, and like we got to find someone else to fight with.
It's fucking middle school nonsense. Yeah. You don't like him. John did this to him. I don't give a fuck. Come come push me down a flight of stairs in real life. That's more entertaining than anything else. I don't give fucking online beefs. It's all gay. We're here to, Ski Mask Collective is the original and unofficial and official MLC podcast. That's what this is at its core. So we just cover a show. So this is basically a show that's about a show, and MLC is a show about a show, as Kevin quotes me all the time, as I was the originator of that, of course. Yeah, and that's what this is. So that's why we're talking about it. But I'm not out here saying, "Oh, did you think what he meant by this was that he didn't like that? You think that guy doesn't like that guy? I don't like him because I'm gonna I'm a puppet. I'm a fucking onion. I'm an orange. I'm a potato. I talk like this, and I'm Cardiff Electric. Who gives a fuck? You're all faggots. Rack me." I don't care. Clip it, send it to him. Come and kill me. Come and get me. Tuesday, 215, 213 West 35th, 7th Ave. Leave your fucking nerd layers. And if you want some real beef, I got some beef for you right fucking here.
Oh, damn.
Come and get it.
Let's go.
Come and get it.
Love it, man. I
I
love
got my
it.
headphones back in.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah, I think you make a good point. You're a performative dude, and I know you're not hearing me now, so I'm just vamping a little bit. But yeah, no, I think you got a healthy take on it all because yeah, what's the end game with it all? You got a healthy take. I was saying it's like
Yes,
you,
I'm very mentally healthy.
yeah. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, some other MLC stuff from the last like month or two. What about Meanie? You hit
The
that
Meanie
yet?
Bajini. Yeah, listen. All in all, me and Kate Meanie. I actually sent. She's another person I sent the link randomly. The problem is I sent it to all these people literally 2 minutes before we started, and I didn't say anything. I just sent it, so it's not like I want people to say, "Oh, these people won't even do the show." I didn't even try to get anybody on. I didn't even say words with the link. But yeah, Meanie Bajini, I like Meanie. She's a wild bitch. Listen, similar to Ski Mask, I don't even disagree. I don't even agree with a lot of the shit she says or talks about, but at least she's entertaining and she makes content. At least she's making her own content and not covering what other people are doing or
Right,
making
right.
up
And
fake
that's the
beef.
thing. Yeah, you have the people who react and then you have the people who generate, you know. So like everyone
I'm
thinks
somewhere in
Chad's such a
between. I'll admit I'm somewhere in between. We cover shit here, but then I
right.
go out into the world and touch people.
Yeah, yeah. So there's
Kids,
there's
children.
a fine line and or well, some people kind of do both. Like Brennan now, he's like kind of getting more into the drama stuff. So people aren't really necessarily watching his show to see like something crazy happen. It's like I don't know, it's crazy how like these
Well, the
worlds are
problem with
merging.
that is, and again, this is something I've said a billion times, and you've probably heard me say it. I know you watch occasionally, and we thank you. But that's a problem with Kevin doing his show now 6 days a week, which I've been on record. The sweet spot, it would be 2 to 3 shows a week and do a couple with super chats. And that's what MLC used to be, with 2 shows a week, and everything was boiled down to, higher quality content, because both of them, they were an hour and a half of Kevin going off. So now that he's doing 6 days a week, he has to cover these these lower tier. The fact that Kevin even says the name, no offense, but even says the names of Joey C's or Shuleys or Carl's, like, this used to be so below him. Like, he wouldn't even bringing me up. It was like way below him. I would just laugh. Like, why is he talking about me? It used to be about other comics. So that's the problem with MLC specifically. 6 days a week, Kevin has no choice but to talk about this bullshit. Yeah.
Nope. Can I ask you a question? Because I've watched your show and I like your character and like you're entertaining, dude. But I don't really know a lot about you. And I know we had talked about getting you on Mir Must to do an interview. But do you do stand up or do you just work in like that industry? I don't know enough.
No, I don't do. No, I don't. Long story short, no, I don't do stand up. I don't do open mics. I don't do sets. Obviously, I've been on stage. I've read Kevin Brennan's jokes at Gino's roast. I did the prop comedy with Steve at Gino's birthday. But we are trending toward, and I don't really want. Obviously, it's a hack thing to say. I feel like almost anybody on these shows, probably you yourself included, I've been told over the years, if you're any type of funny, you should do stand up. You should do stand up. You should do stand up. Like, yeah. So I've gotten that forever, but I feel like anybody who's any kind of funny gets that. But I am not opposed to it. My thing is, I know I'm not a standard setup blah blah punch thing. I'm not saying that's bad. It's just not for me. I would need to be more just
Like a
go up and
performative guy,
yeah, exactly, right? So I don't
Yeah.
know. That could be something coming down the pipe, but no. I consider myself a nobody, frankly. If you want me to be optimistic about it, I'd say I'm an entertainer, I guess, which I'll take.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's
you know what? I always said a poor man's Brian McCarthy. Brian never did stand up, but he goes on different shows. He occasionally hosts a live show. He does podcasts. He has a ton of story because he's lived a life. So it's similar to me. So that's kind of how not what I model myself after, but if people are looking to put in a category, something like a poor man's Brian McCarthy. Where I'm just
That makes
bopping around,
sense.
you know?
And that's the thing. Like, I think being claiming you're a comedian
This
nowadays,
is
like,
for Lady Slug.
there you go. I think like being a comedian or like claiming you're a comedian is like probably comes off as cringe. Like when people say that to you now, like unless they are like, I don't know, like comedians have this whole like ethos of like, oh yeah, well I'm at this level and you're at this level. It's a very
Right.
weird thing once you become a quote unquote self-proclaimed comedian.
Right.
That like it's a different vibe than maybe you're
Oh,
naturally attuned
I've
to,
said all along, and this is not a slight. This is not a slight. This is just fact, in my opinion. I think stand up is closer to theater than it is to being funny. I think
Right.
I think
Acting.
podcasting and shows is more for people who are actually funny. Stand up is closer, you know, and that's
To
not a
acting,
slight.
yeah.
It's just fact because you got to write. I mean, to talk for an hour, as you know, to their credit, that's a ton of writing and repetition, and this works, this doesn't. It's writing. It's not really just being funny. You know what I mean? I think
Memorizing,
that's why memorizing, exactly. Forget that in itself,
repeating.
I don't know if I could do with all the weed I smoke. So that's why I'm always curious to see both sides. Comedians I like on a podcast, which there've been some major duds, guys that take themselves so seriously off the stage that are hilarious on the stage, and vice versa. Guys I think are duds on podcasts and are fucking have great sets. I've seen them live here. I try to keep not here, but at the soccer ball club. Try to keep separation of church and state, since working at the soccer ball comedy club, where I have a code where I won't talk specifics about people. You know.
Sure. No, I know what you mean though. Like, yeah, there's certain guys who they're just funny as hell, like on podcasts, and then you see it in their stand up. It's a different type
Yeah,
thing.
just
Like even
clinical bullshit.
Even Zumach's kind of like that. He's just like a goofy guy, you know, like kind of a character guy. But I don't think he's like the technician who like writes jokes and like performs well, you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mike
and
Vecchione is like one of those
so
guys.
I've been on record. I think he said that because he knows I've been on record on this over the years. And this is one I'll touch on because he may or may not have been just at this very club in the last week. Not that that's anything new, but I've said that yes, Vecchione I find pretty boring on any podcast I've heard him on. One of the funniest stand-ups I've seen. He's got great presence on stage. He's got fucking great bits. He's fucking kills on stage. And in my opinion, for my taste, not great on podcasts, to put it nicely.
Doug Stanhope's kind of like that too, where like, because I used to go to shows like 10, 15 years ago, and Stanhope was like the guy, like the first couple times I saw him, I was like, or the first time at least, I was like, wow, this is incredible. And then I saw him again, and it was like, the act was like so, I realized it was like an act. Like he was like, it seemed so natural, but at the same time, it was a performance. And like he even like paused in the certain places and played off the crowd in a certain way. And I realized, oh, like he's like, it's part of his performative art of like memorizing this and doing it. Whereas like, yeah, then you see other guys who, I'm trying to think of a good example, who are just like off the cuff, like nutballs, you know.
Yeah, who was here
comedy.
or who was there? Hold on, Gino just texted me. Seeing if he wants to come on for the finale here because I gotta
like Gino might be a good example of one of those guys. Like he's like high energy guy. I've never seen his stand up, but I assume like his stand up is more like manic energy type stuff rather than like a carefully crafted, like I'm going to do this bit for 3.5 minutes, this bit for 4.5. I don't know though. I'm just kind of just basing it off of like an energy guy, you know, but
yeah, honestly, Gino's pretty consistent on and off. I've seen Gino stand up enough. Yeah, Gino texted me. I just saw this. I told him we're wrapping up. If you want to jump on for the finale. On that vein, either way, go ahead and what's the show? What's the channel? What's the Twitter? What's the where do you live?
I've been really
whatever, AKA plugs. I'm asking.
Yeah, I've been pushing my my Twitter lately because I've been putting a ton of Ray videos up of exposed videos on Ray DeVito. So Dr. Megag, DRMEGAG on Twitter. And then I do a show with Lil Mir, Mir Musk. And then I got a new show that I'm going to be doing on Win by Two. And it's called Tard Hunting. And it's going to be covering some Ray stuff too, kind of in the same vein of the videos I've been putting up. So we'll be covering a lot of DeVito to get to the origin of his odd behavior and figure out like what makes this bizarre man tick. So we'll be kind of
plenty meat on the bone there.
Yeah, so we'll be doing Tard Hunting on a pretty regular basis, covering DeVito, and yeah, just check me out on Twitter, I guess, and then I'll be doing shows here and there too.
All right. Well, I said it. I'll finish with what I should have started with. Breaking exclusive. I will be my first time. I will be in the crowd at Legion of Skanks. VIP guest of the legend, the Laughing Habibi, the laughing guy from Legion of Skanks. He was on In Hot Water last week. Now is a dear friend. He invited me to come with him. So I will be at Legion of Skanks tomorrow night. Who knows? There's some things happening. Who knows? Maybe I'll talk into a microphone on that show. Who the hell knows? And of course, Tuesday, the classic Stancils. I'll probably stay in the city Monday night. So who the hell knows what'll happen? What we'll have to report. 12:30 or so, we'll do Stancil Compound pregame. 1:30, the dump, where we have had if you follow what's been going on, there's been a ton of communication with the UK Mets guy. Absolute scenes, voice message. We got voice messages from him the last couple days that will play on the air on Tuesday. And then, of course, 2:15 In Hot Water with Gino. And God knows we've already got plenty to talk about from this weekend. So at Stancil Gym, the Patreon is lit. All the Stancil Compound pre-games are on there. Just uploaded from last week, all of them. You can see where I met the 3 black men. You could see me accost a Jewish man last week. All on the Patreon at Ski Mask Media, folks. Even if you don't, hey, just join it and don't listen to anything. It's $3. Who gives a fuck? I'm poor, and yeah, I'm poor, and I'm a sink. I'm a single income, no kids. As
a sink.
I'm a sink. And you people have really disappointed me with you, aside from a few of you, and thank you, have really disappointed me today on Ski Mask's birthday with the lack of super chats. Sports Mask Collective is coming up in a matter of moments on this very channel. I'm going to finish this, do a bit of recon, and we are coming right the fuck back. No offense again, Dr. Chow. This is not directed at you, but we're going 3 shows back to back to back, like the 90s Bulls times 2 here. Constant content constantly being released. You can get that hat at Ski Mask Collective and be like Stu Cluster and myself and wear it around. The Don't Be a Mongo Bongo shirts, which are flying off the shelves, are at Ski Mask Collective. The Butt Pills shirts are on skimaskcollective.com. All these just within the last week. Constant content, constant apparel. Dr. Chow, I'm glad you were able to jump on. This was
Appreciate
fun.
it, man. Happy birthday, Ski.
Happy birthday to Ski. Hopefully he stays out of jail and a grave. We'll see what happens. I appreciate you inviting me on your show. As you've heard me say, obviously, I have these dumb small windows every week to do these shows.
We'll figure it out sometime.
But keep sending, as I tell Jake Hudson all the time and anybody else, keep sending the link to Ray too. Ray always keep sending a link. If I could jump on, I can. If I can't, all good. I know there's some people like send. Oh, why'd you send me the link? I don't care. Send all the links. If I can jump on, great. If I can, I can't. But all right, folks. Well, stay tuned here at Ski Mask Media. Sports Mask Stancil Super Bowl Spectacular coming up in a matter of moments. Let me recoup, get another Celsius, push urine out of my penis, and I will be right back. Godspeed, everyone. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Stay tuned for everything you need to know about the Super Bowl. And thank you, Dr. Chow. And yeah, 9/11 was in